Hi, Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. My name is Nor Masturina Amalia binti Marlizan. My matric number is 2013928852. I'm from Faculty of Electronic Engineering and Technology. My lecturer is Prof. T.S. Dr. Azrimi Abdullah Al-Hadi. Here is presentation about assignment 1B. This is the outline that I will be doing. First, introduction, parameter graph, result graph, comparison graph, and the last one is conclusion. Let's start with the introduction first. In wireless communication system, understanding the impact of distance and antenna gains on path loss and receive power is crucial for designing reliable and efficient communication link. The path loss refers to the attenuation of signal strength as it propagates through the wireless medium, and it is a function of the distance between the transmit power and receive power. Again, antenna gains, on the other hand, represent the ability of the antenna to concentrate or focus the transmit or receive signal in specific directions. This analysis aims to explore how the distance and antenna gains affect path loss and receive power in different propagation environments. Three common propagation environments are considered urban, suburban, and rural. Each environment poses distinct challenges and characteristics due to variations in geographical features, building density, and terrain. First is monopole antenna. Monopole antenna is a simple vertical antenna typically used in mobile device or small wireless systems. And the second one is dipole antenna. Dipole antenna is a simple antenna with two elements used in various applications, including Wi-Fi routers. Here is the helical antenna. Helical antenna is a specialized antenna with a helix space structure often used in satellite communication and high frequency applications. As you can see, here is the table of comparison antenna. The gains mentioned in the table theoretical and can vary based on specific design parameters and implementation factors. The radiation patterns are simplified representations and can be affected by real world conditions and antenna configurations. Here is monopole antenna. The characteristic of monopole antenna a single element above ground plane and half of a dipole antenna. The antenna gauge of monopole antenna is 2.15 dBi, and the radiation pattern of monopole antenna in horizontal is omnidirectional and in the vertical is donut shape. The second one is dipole antenna. Dipole antenna, the characteristic of dipole antenna are two equal length arms in parallel and horizontal orientation. The antenna scale of dipole is 2.15 dBi also, and the radiation pattern in horizontal is omnidirectional and bidirectional with upward and downward lobes. The last one is helical antenna. Helical antenna, the characteristic of helical antenna are conducting wire wound in a helix and can be monofilar or bifilar. The antenna gains of helical is 6 to 10 dBi, and the radiation pattern of helical antenna is directional with major lobe perpendicular to axis and also can occur circular polarizations. After that, the parameter antenna. Here is the parameter that I use in this assignment. First, first frequency, operational frequency in megahertz. I use 900 megahertz, and the distance in kilometer. I use 20 kilometer, and the receive head. Here I use 6 meter, and transmitter head I use 175 meter, and the last one is transmitting power. I use 30 dBm. Result graph. Here the urban path loss graph. The urban path loss graphs is illustrate the encounter in densely populated urban environment. In urban areas, tall building structure and other obstacles cause significant signal attenuation, leading to higher path loss. The graph exhibits a steeper increase in path loss with distance compared to rural and suburban environment. Urban environments require careful network planning and higher transmit power to compensate for the higher path loss and maintain reliable communications. Suburban. Suburban path loss graph represent the path loss observed in areas that lie between rural and urban setting, known as suburban environments. Areas have a moderate level of obstacle and less densely populated than urban centres. As a result, the path loss in suburban regions falls between that of rural and urban environments. The graph shows a moderate increase in path loss with distance, making suburban areas more amenable to medium-range communication compared to dense urban centres. Rural. Rural path loss graph shows the path loss experience in a rural environment. In rural areas, the absence of tall buildings and dense obstacle result in relatively open space in favor obstructions. As a result, the path loss in rural areas tends to be lower compared to urban and suburban environment. The graph typically shows that the path loss is increased with distance, but at a slower rate compared to urban and suburban scenarios. Rural areas are more favorable for range communication due to lower path loss and less interference. FSPL graph. FSPL graph is the free space path loss, represent the path loss experienced in a free space environment where there are no obstacle or reflections to affect the signal propagation. In this ideal scenario, the path loss follows the inverse square law where the signal power increasingly propagation to the square of the distance from the transmit. The graph shows a linear increase in path loss with distance on a logarithmic scale as the signal spread out over a larger area. Comparison graph. Here the comparison the path loss in urban, suburban and rural environment to free space path loss provide insight into how different propagation environment affect signal attenuation compared to a ideal free space scenario. Let's explore each comparison. And okay, here as you can see, the first comparison which is urban and FSPL. In environment urban, the presence of tall buildings, structure and other obstacles leads to significant signal attenuation, result in higher path loss compared to free space condition. The urban path loss showed a steeper increase in distance, indicating that the received signal power decreased more rapidly than in free space. The comparison demonstrates that urban areas experience higher path loss due to signal blockage and reflection caused by buildings, making network planning and design management crucial to maintain reliable communications. And the second comparison is suburban and FSPL. The suburban environments lie between rural and urban setting with a moderate level of obstacle and lower population density. Compared to free space, suburban areas experience higher path loss due to some obstruction, but the impact is less pronounced than in urban areas. The path loss graph for suburban environments show a moderate increase with distance, indicating that the signal power attenuates at a slower rate than in urban environment. This suggests that suburban areas are more suitable for medium range communication compared to urban centers. Here the last one is rural versus FSPL. In rural areas, the absence of tall buildings and dense obstacle result in lower path loss compared to compared to both urban and suburban environments. The path loss graph for rural area exhibits a gradual increase with distance, indicating that the signal power attenuates at a slower rate than urban and suburban setting. Rural environments offer better signal propagation condition, making them more suitable for long-range communication. The comparison with FSPS shows that even in rural areas, some path loss occurs due to factors such as terrain variation and ground reflection, but it remains significantly lower than urban and suburban environment. Okay, the last one is conclusion. In conclusion, we understand the impact of distance and antenna gains on path loss and receive power. It's crucial for designing efficient and reliable wireless communication system. The analysis highlight the importance of considering environmental factors and antenna characteristics to optimize signal performance and ensure seamless communications. By making informed design decision on antenna selections, transmit power and network planning, wireless communication system can achieve better performance and meet the diverse needs of modern communication applications. That's all from me. Thank you.